Hey everyone, welcome to Ex-Fundie Diaries. My name is Elly, my pronouns are they, she, and this video is going to be a little bit rambly. This morning I was doing some journaling, just about some things I was thinking about and processing, and I decided to turn on my camera and share them with you. As you can see, I am in a new location. I moved about a month ago. I'm currently living with my mom, actually. I made an Instagram post about that you can go check out if you're interested. Some days are definitely a lot harder than others, but I think I am doing my best to make the most of this situation. And this wall hanging that I've had for years, and it's actually been one of my favorite quotes since I was a teenager, "Bloom where you're planted." I would say it is more relevant now than ever before, and I'm trying my best to bloom where I am planted for now. Over the last few months, starting in the spring and going through the summer, I have been dating for the first time. As anyone who has watched this channel before will know, my ex, who is my co-parent in the present, was my first everything. I saved my first kiss for the altar when I married him at 21, and he and I didn't even really date. We went on dates, but we were already in a committed relationship from the beginning. And I wasn't allowed to date, so I didn't have any dating experience prior to that. So, as a 32-year-old, I am experiencing dating for the first time. And it is a lot, as you can imagine. It's so new, so much to take in. And I am learning about so many things about myself in the process. And it's bringing up a lot of shame. Purity culture guilt has abounded. I've also had internalized queer phobia come up, and just all sorts of other things that I'm not surprised to encounter with an upbringing like mine. But something that I wasn't expecting was shame around my feelings. I went into dating thinking that I was going to maintain a level of detachment for a long time before getting to know someone deeply or knowing them for a certain amount of time. Or honestly, I don't really know what I was thinking when I went into it, but I was just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna explore, I'm gonna try to keep things casual, be really upfront about that with the people that I'm dating. Well, so far I have dated 2 people, and I have fallen for them both. And I think I'm realizing that that is a part of who I am. I really like people. I just like people. People are so cool. That may sound kind of silly, but I'm also job searching right now, and you know how a lot of companies will ask if you're like a people person, which is like a really cheesy, kind of fluffy, meaningless thing. I think mostly they just want to know, are you good at customer service? But I'm genuinely a people person, like in the truest sense of the word. I love people, and I love all different kinds of people. And I have the capacity to be attracted to and to become attached to many different people in a romantic way. Obviously, being bi, I'm attracted to anyone of any gender. And I've also known for a long time that I don't have a physical type. I'm attracted to people with all different kinds of bodies and all different kinds of, presentations and appearances. But I also don't think I have like a personality type either. I find a lot of different personalities interesting, and I'm attracted to them. And I'm also a very romantic person. I really love learning about someone and their uniqueness, their favorite things, their backstory, what makes them who they are. And I just find so many things endearing, and I become attached pretty quickly, and I develop strong feelings for people that I like. And just to clarify, I think different people could have different ideas of like what quickly means. I think it kind of depends on, how often you're seeing someone and how that connection is progressing. I guess I could just say, like, for me, pretty much after, I don't know, a month to 2 months is where I have felt like, oh shit, I have really strong feelings for this person. And oof, the shame that I have felt at realizing that. And the other thing that has come up that I've also known about myself for a long time, but it's one thing to know it about yourself, it's another thing to experience it in real time in a very specific kind of environment. And that is, I am super anxiously attached. I score super high for anxious attachment. If anyone is unfamiliar with attachment styles, I will put a link down below for anyone who wants to check it out. As I understand it, there's secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and fearful avoidant attachment, or I think other people might call it disorganized attachment. Basically, there's the secure attachment, and then there's 3 insecure attachments, and my primary attachment style is anxious attachment. So obviously that's a big part of this too, and I'm, talking about this in therapy and trying to develop some tools to cope with that and to be responsible for myself and like own my struggles with anxious attachment so that I'm not, doing like regularly unhealthy behaviors to try to mitigate that and, get the other person to validate me and stuff like that. So trying to find a balance of like asking for reassurance when it's appropriate without, being like too overbearing and, respecting the other person's boundaries and like practicing believing them when they say that they like you, etc. But yeah, big fear of abandonment, having a hard time trusting that people actually like me back, having a hard time with sitting in the uncertainty, in the unknown, all of those things have definitely been coming up a lot, for sure. But again, just even beyond that anxious attachment stuff that I'm dealing with, I also just feel things really deeply, and I have, this sounds so cheesy, but I have a lot of love to give. And that's something that I'm learning about myself in this dating experience. But as I was journaling this morning and I was just trying to like figure out like where is all of this shame coming from? Pretty much immediately I was like, oh, duh. Guard your heart. Growing up evangelical and Christian fundamentalist, there was this verse, Bible verse, that was used in a certain way. I don't know what the, original author's intent was behind the verse, guard your heart. I think the rest of it, it's been a while and I did not look it up before filming this. So I think it's like, because from it flows the wellspring of life, something like that. I don't know what the original intent was, but I can tell you how evangelical and Fundie moms used it in talking to their children, specifically their girls and AFAB kids. Was basically the gist of it was, don't have crushes. don't like people. Focus on God, focus on your family, focus on your housework and your chores, and learning to be a helpmeet to your future husband. But I really, really internalized that at a young age, and I started to shame myself and to also put myself down and just really see who I was as deeply flawed, and like I was failing at being not just a good Christian, but like a person. I just felt like I wasn't being a person in the right way because I had a lot of crushes, and I've always had a lot of crushes. And I'm realizing in the present, as a 32-year-old late bloomer, that I actually don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think that's fine. I think it's just part of who I am. And like, who cares? So what? Like, why is that negative? But as a kid, I believed very strongly that it was negative. I believed that it was wrong, that it was bad, and that I was bad for feeling like that, and for not being able to wrestle my heart into submission and make myself stop having crushes and stop liking people and stop having feelings of attraction and attachment to people in a romantic way. And hold on a second, I just need to see who's home right now. I don't think anyone else is home, but I just need to double check. Hold on. Okay, good, that's what I thought. You know, filming while living with my mom, it's been a little hard to find times when I can do that. It's a little bit of a different scenario than when I had my own apartment. But anyways, my mom, as I have talked about in past videos, she hated that I had crushes, and she called me boy crazy. And, you know, she didn't know that I was attracted to girls, and I didn't know until I was older, because, you know, I couldn't recognize my feelings towards female friends as crushes. But, you know, if she did, she probably would have called me girl crazy too, or whatever. But, you know, she viewed it as silly and shallow and immature, and I took those messages to heart and I internalized them. And guess what? They're showing up in the present as I'm making attachments to people and as I'm feeling strong feelings for people. And I've been watching this video and also listening to it because it's on Spotify as well, by the YouTube channel Lavender. And I've been following this channel for years. It's a great channel, mostly about like self-help, self-improvement, things of that nature. But it's a self-worth affirmation video. And I've never really been into affirmations. Obviously, growing up the way I did as a Fundie, like having self-worth, you're supposed to do the opposite of that. So I've always had like a lot of internal resistance to affirmations. I also think some of them are a little bit like maybe iffy or problematic, but I really, really connected to this one. And I've been, not every day, but almost every day, I've been trying to listen to it, watch the video, and actually repeat the affirmations out loud. And the one that I remembered as I was journaling this morning was, I love and accept all of me. And I thought about this part of me that I'm having a lot of shame over. And I wondered, can I love that about myself? Can I actually accept that about myself instead of resisting it, instead of seeing it as a negative quality, as something that I need to fight, something that I need to overcome? And I think the answer is yes, I think I can. And I think I want to practice that. I think I want to go in that direction as much as I can. Do I want to continue to learn to be as healthy as I can be in relationships and in dating? Of course. I'm so committed to that. And having this shame works against trying to make that progress. Because when I feel shame, I get very self-focused and I turn in on myself and I spiral and I get so overwhelmed and I just beat myself up and beat myself up. And that's not helpful to anyone. And so I think it can be both. I think I can practice loving and accepting this part of me that I was raised to be ashamed of, and I can keep working on moving towards more secure attachment. Two things can be true, which is a big theme for me in this time of life. So yeah, I wanted to share that. I hope that if anyone else is going through something similar, whether it's being a late bloomer in dating or just some completely other scenario where you're having a hard time accepting a part of who you are as a person, or you're trying to work on an unhealthy pattern and you're feeling so much shame, I hope that you'll feel a little less alone watching this. And thank you for listening to me. I am getting a call. Oh, okay, cool. I think I'm going to answer this actually. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.